If you're on Social Security and disability benefits and are trying to figure out the payment schedule for March 2024, you've come to the right place. I'm going to give you the exact date your benefit payments are going to hit your account, including SSDI and SSI. So stay tuned. And if you're on food stamps, I have major breaking news. There is a bipartisan legislation that is going through Congress right now that will allow food stamps to be used at grocery stores to buy hot food. This is a game changer for the program. So stay tuned for details about that. And you want to stay till the end of this video because there are 7 major changes to food stamps that are happening this year. If you're not aware of this, you want to hear this because it's going to impact everybody that's on Social Security and disability benefits. So let's jump right into it. So I want to talk about the payment schedule that is coming. I want to talk about Social Security and the plans that President Biden has to change Social Security in 2024. This is going to affect everybody in a big way. So I want to talk about that. And I want to talk about the Hot Food Act, which is going through Congress, and the 7 major changes that I mentioned earlier. So let's get right into the payment dates. So the first round of Social Security and disability payments are about to hit. So let's talk about that. If you're on SSDI and Social Security retirement benefits, your payment dates are based on a specific Wednesday and based on your birth date. So if your birthday is between the 1st and the 10th of the month, you get your benefits on the 2nd Wednesday of the month. If your birthday is between the 11th and the 20th, you get your benefits on the 3rd Wednesday. And if your birthday is between the 21st and the 31st, you get your benefits on the 4th Wednesday of the month. If you're on SSI, your benefits come on the 1st of the month unless it falls on a weekend or a holiday. And there is a third category of people that get benefits on the 3rd, which if you live outside the United States, you are receiving both Social Security and disability benefits, or your state pays for your Medicare premium, or you started receiving Social Security before 1997. Well, let's look at the details. So for March 2024, if you're on Social Security retirement and SSDI, your benefit payments will be paid on March the 13th if your birthday is between the 1st and the 10th. That's the 2nd Wednesday of the month. If your birthday is between the 11th and the 20th, you're going to get your benefits on March the 20th, which is the 3rd Wednesday of the month. And if your birthday is between the 21st and the end of the month, you are going to get your Social Security or SSDI benefits on March the 27th. For SSI benefits, Supplemental Security Income, your payments will be made on time, March the 1st, which is a Friday because it's not a holiday or a weekend. And for those of you who receive your benefits on the 3rd, if you live outside the United States, you receive both Social Security and disability, your state pays for your Medicare premium, or you file for Social Security before 1997, your benefits are going to come in on March 1st because your regular date, which is March 3rd, actually falls on a weekend. So you're going to get it early on Friday, March 1st, just like those that are on Supplemental Security Income. So what do you do if your benefits do not come in? Well, there are 3 things you can do. But the first thing is to wait 3 additional business days. That is a recommendation from the Social Security Administration because sometimes there may be a technical issue with your bank. So you want to wait 3 days. And after 3 days, if your money does not come in, then you want to call the Social Security Administration at 1-800-772-1213. There are 2 other things you can do. You can visit a local Social Security office to get an understanding on what's happening with your benefits, or you can log in online if you have created an online account, or you can create one and get access to your Social Security benefits and see what is happening. There may be 2 reasons why your benefits will not come in, other than being a technical issue, which you would know after 3 business days. Number 1 is if there is an overpayment. Social Security overpayment is a growing problem that a lot of people have where the Social Security Administration has paid you more money than you deserve, so they've stopped your payment and are going to use the money to pay back what you owe. Number 2 is cancellation. Cancellation means that you have violated the Social Security regulation in some form and your benefits have been cut off. Either way, reach out to the Social Security Administration to find out what's going on with your benefits. Next, I want to talk about President Biden's big plan to reform Social Security in 2024. So, before I get into that, if you like what you hear so far, please hit the like button so that this video will be shared with more people. And if you are new to this channel, as you can see, all we do is bring you the latest news and updates on Social Security. So hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate your support. So let's talk about the president's plan to reform Social Security. Well, President Biden has a 4-part plan, which I think is a great plan to fix Social Security. And it's going to cost a lot of money, $273 billion. But Social Security is going to be in trouble in 10 years if nothing is done. So the president has put his plan forward, and I'm going to share the details with you. Republicans have also put their plan forward, which I did a video on, which you can see in my video library. But let's focus on why this is important. Well, 9 out of 10 retirees rely on Social Security, and Social Security has lifted millions of seniors out of poverty. And because of demographic shifts, the baby boomer generation is retiring at a record pace. There's going to be a $22 trillion shortfall in Social Security funds. And that is why, if nothing is done by 2035, the Social Security Administration is only going to be able to pay 75% of benefits to people who sign up for benefits. So something needs to be done. And the president has put forward a 4-part plan to do that. So I'm going to walk you through it. The first one is to increase the payroll taxes. Second is to change the way COLA. This is if you are frustrated by the percentage of COLA, cost of living adjustment, you are receiving in Social Security benefits, you want to pay attention to this part. And then it's going to increase the special minimum benefit, and then it's going to raise the primary insurance amount for a certain group of beneficiaries. So let's get into the details. So the first thing is that the president wants to increase payroll taxation on high-income earners. Why is this important? Well, there are only 3 ways you can bring more money into the Social Security system or slow down the rate at which the money is going out. It's to increase the retirement age, is to increase taxes that on people who are earning but are not paying into Social Security, or raise the Social Security taxes. So the president is trying to do the second one, which is increase the threshold. So under the current system, payroll taxes is 12.4%, and it applies to income up to $160,200. That's 2023. Well, President Biden wants to reinstate another threshold, which is the $400,000 threshold. So before, there used to be a 2-tier system when it came to Social Security taxes. So if we're looking at 2023 threshold, if you made $160,200, you would have paid taxes up to that, Social Security taxes. And then if you made more than $400,000, you pay taxes on anything above $400,000. And then there's something in the middle called the donut hole. And over time, the hope is that everything will align, and then everybody will pay taxes on all their income, at least Social Security taxes. Well, Congress got rid of the $400,000 threshold, which is one of the reasons why the Social Security system is struggling. So the president wants to bring that back so that everybody that's making money or working pays into the Social Security system on all of their income. Number 2, the second part of the president's plan, which I am excited about, and I think will make the biggest impact on current beneficiaries, is to change how the cost of living adjustment is calculated. Currently, Social Security cost of living adjustment are calculated using an index called the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. So what happens is that every third quarter of the year, they look at goods and services that urban wage earners use: food, clothing, transportation, healthcare, etc. And then they see if prices have gone up compared to last year. If prices have gone up, then your Social Security benefits are adjusted upwards. If prices remain the same, then your Social Security benefits stay the same. If prices go down, then nothing happens, because by law, they cannot adjust your Social Security benefits down. So what the president is trying to do is change the way the COLA is calculated, because the current index does not truly reflect the cost that affects seniors 62 and over. Remember, this is a consumer price index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, who are not the people who are typically on Social Security benefits. So what the president wants to do is introduce a new index that will track the spending habits of seniors 62 and over. Why is that important? Because there are healthcare costs and specific things that affect seniors the most that do not affect the general population. And so it's better to have a consumer price index that tracks the cost of living of seniors so that adjustments will be made to Social Security and disability that better reflects the cost that seniors are facing. The third part of the president's plan is to increase the special minimum benefit. And this is a big deal because the special minimum benefit provides benefits to low-earning workers who have paid into the system for at least 30 years. The president's plan is to increase the special minimum benefit to 125% of the federal poverty level, and this adjustment will provide a substantial safety net for low-income retirees. Why is this important? Well, if you've been working and paying into Social Security and you didn't make a lot of money while you were working, even though you've earned the 40 credits that was required and you've worked for the 10 years, what happens is that if you've paid into the system for at least 30 years, you still can get a very small benefit. So what this does is make sure that if you've paid into the system for at least 30 years, you've qualified for benefits, that you don't fall below the poverty line as defined by the government. So let me explain this. So currently, for those who get the special minimum benefit, they get $1,033 in 2023, and that went up by just $33 to $1,066 in 2024. So if the special minimum benefit is all you get, if that's all the income you get coming in from Social Security, and that's all the money you have coming in, you are definitely living below the poverty line according to the government's definition. Because each year the government releases what is called the poverty level, the federal poverty level, and it tells, it shows a chart of what the government considers as, 100% of the poverty level, who is living below the poverty line, and who is above it. Well, for 2023, to be at the poverty level as an individual, you have to be making $14,580. Well, if you're only getting the special minimum benefit, even after 30 years of paying into Social Security, you will be getting $12,798 in 2024, which is below the poverty level. It's almost like 80% of the poverty level. So what the president wants to do is increase that to 125%, so that anybody that has paid into Social Security for 30 years and qualify will get at least $18,225 according to the 2023 federal poverty level chart. So that is, if that change is implemented, that is going to be a big deal. It's going to be a 47% increase in people who are getting the special minimum benefit. That is the bump they're going to get. And I think it's a great idea, because if you've paid 30 years into Social Security, just because you did not make a lot of money doesn't mean that you should be resigned into poverty. And so this will bring your wages up, your Social Security benefits up to a level at least above the poverty level that the government shows in their own chart. So, and then it will be adjusted every year that the poverty level is adjusted for inflation. Then the fourth change that is coming, which I think a lot of seniors between age 78 and age 72 are going to be excited about, is that typically what the data shows is that when you hit that specific age, there is an increase in healthcare costs that applies to that group. And so what the president wants to do is increase their Social Security benefit by 5% over that period, over that 4-year period, so that you are getting an offset on the increase that hits people at that age, so that they are not losing a lot of their Social Security benefits to healthcare costs, prescription drug costs, etc., etc. So that's what the president's plan is. I mean, it's going to cost a lot, but that is the 4-part plan. And there are 3 things that experts have issues with, and I'm going to walk you through that. The first is that, remember I told you they're going to increase, he wants to increase or bring back the 400,000 level of taxation. Well, people are saying that that is just going to cause high income earners to divert where they get their income from. And that is true to some extent, because for wealthy individuals and families, they get to have different options to decide where their income comes from. So if you have stock investment, you can get your income from there by selling stock and then getting the capital gains tax, which is 20%. And then you avoid having to pay a higher taxes if you get wage income. Is that what's going to happen? I don't know, but that's what they are concerned about. The second thing is that they don't think the president's plan goes far enough, because even though it is a drastic measure to save the Social Security Trust Fund, they think it's only going to extend the lifeline of the trust fund by 5 years. So people want to see even more bolder effort. And I think the only way to do that is to increase the retirement age or increase the Social Security taxes from 12.4% upwards. Those are the only two ways you can bring more money into the system or slow down how much money is leaving the system. And then the last point people make is that it's not a bipartisan legislation. If you've paid attention to what happens in Congress, nothing bipartisan really happens. I mean, it's very far and in between. So if one party is putting something forward, it's probably likely that the other party is opposed to it. So if anything is going to get through Congress, it has to be a bipartisan thing, and it's very hard to come by these days. So that is what. And then finally, the recommendation is that the president and his team should go out there and sell this to the public, because the more the public knows about this, the more they'll be educated and see how these changes benefits them, and maybe they'll pressure their legislators to back this legislation and bring about the changes that will help save the system. The third thing I want to talk about is the Hot Food Act. This is, in my opinion, a really big change. So if you are on food stamps or know somebody that is, this is something you want to pay attention to. So in July 2023, U.S. Senator Michael Bennet introduced the Hot Food Act, which was going to help low-income, disabled, and elderly SNAP recipients purchase prepared foods with their EBT cards. This change will allow all SNAP recipients to use their benefits to purchase cold prepared food, hot heated foods, and meals at grocery stores. Why is this important? Well, for two reasons. Number one, it is a bipartisan legislation. It means that there are people from both parties that are backing this legislation. Currently, there are about 100 lawmakers that are pushing for this in the Farm Bill, which is the 2023 Farm Bill but has become the 2024 Farm Bill. And if the Hot Food Act gets passed, then 41 million SNAP recipients will have access to purchase hot food and prepared food such as rotisserie chicken with their benefits. The second reason why this is important, and this is a big deal, is that it is being included in the Farm Bill, which is the legislation that authorizes nutrition programs, including food stamps. So it is not a one-year thing. Once it's included in the Farm Bill, it's close to being permanent, because the Farm Bill is renewed every 5 years. And so if you have a program that is in the Farm Bill, like WIC, like food stamps, like school nutrition, school lunches, all those programs are part of the Farm Bill, then it means that it's here to stay. So what I did was pull some of the press releases from some of the Congress people that are backing this bill, and I want to share that with you so that you can understand how important this bill is to the people who are backing it. So this is from Representative Grace Ming of New York, and here's what she has to say. She said, families throughout America rely on SNAP benefits to make sure they have enough food for their children. Restricting a working mom by only allowing her to buy frozen rotisserie chicken, but not a hot prepared one, is nonsensical and wrong. The Hot Food Act simply removes the prohibition from purchasing hot food in SNAP. This reform will provide recipients the flexibility they need to provide the most nutritious meal possible to their family. I look forward to streamlining this program for more than millions of SNAP recipients in the United States. And then another sponsor of the bill, Representative Fitzpatrick, has this to say: millions in the United States rely on SNAP to supplement their purchase of healthy and nutritious food, and those families deserve greater flexibility with how they are able to utilize their benefits. And then another representative, Representative Garbarino, has this to say. Right now, a working mom struggling to feed their family is permitted to purchase a cold sandwich for their kids using SNAP, but prohibited from buying soup or rotisserie chicken to ensure that they get a hot meal. And Representative Spanberger of Virginia has this to say. Right now, working Virginians can't use SNAP benefits to buy warm chicken or hot prepared food from the grocery store. That means that a single parent on their way home from work cannot swing by the store and pick up rotisserie chicken to use with SNAP dollars. It seems that everybody is talking about rotisserie chicken. So there are some powerful organizations that are also backing this legislation. I want to bring you highlights of what they are saying. The first one is the president of First Focus Campaign for Children. Children deserve access to nutritious food without unnecessary stipulations or arbitrary barriers. Allowing SNAP recipients to purchase hot food allows parents who may be working multiple jobs or experiencing housing insecurity to still provide hot and nutritious meals that their children need. Feeding America is another organization that is backing this bill. Feeding America supports the Hot Food Act, which will give people the option to use their SNAP benefits to purchase hot and prepared food. This important change will provide additional flexibility for families, seniors, and people with disabilities to choose the food at the grocery store that best meets their dietary needs. And then finally, the CEO of City Harvest in New York, regardless of income, all families should be allowed to use their grocery budgets to access the food they need and want in desirable and usable form. With so many families struggling to find time to prepare hot meals or navigate limited kitchen space, the Hot Food Act will help more New York City neighbors put dinner on their table and make food assistance more equitable. So, if you don't know already, your current food stamps only allowed you to buy fruits and vegetables, meat, poultry and fish, dairy products, bread, cereals, snacks, non-alcoholic beverages, but there was a long list of things that you could not purchase with your SNAP benefits. And one of those was hot foods at the point of sale. So what this legislation does is fix that. Now, there is a program called the Restaurant Meals Program. It's a very limited program that allowed you to use your SNAP benefits to buy hot food. But there are three things. You had to be in a state that offered the program. You have to be one of the three groups of people that were eligible. And you have to be, have a restaurant that has been approved to be able to use it. So it's a very, very limited program. It's for people age 60 and older who are on SNAP, people who have a disability, or people who are homeless, or the spouses of all three groups. Well, this program has been around since the 1970s, but only 9 states offer it, and 5 of them only started recently. And in 2 states, the program is limited to certain counties. So you can see it's in Arizona, Maryland, New York, California, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Illinois, Michigan, and Virginia. But in Rhode Island and Illinois, it's limited to specific counties. So this is not the solution to the problem because, as I said, it's been around since the 1970s, but only 9 states are offering it and only limited at certain restaurants and limited to only 3 groups of people who are on food stamps. So the Hot Food Act kind of blows wide open the whole issue of allowing people to use their benefits to buy hot food at grocery stores. So here's what Senator Bennet has to say. Of more than the 42 million SNAP recipients, almost 70% of participants are children, elderly, or those with disabilities. The ability to purchase hot food or hot foods ready for immediate consumption would provide enormous flexibility to those who rely on this program to supplement their nutritional needs. So it's too many individuals and families who struggle to make ends meet miss out on nutrition they need because they lack access to a kitchen or because they have difficulty preparing their own meals. This applies to seniors, applies to people with disability. So the Hot Food Act will go a long way in closing this gap by allowing SNAP households to conveniently purchase hot foods at grocery stores. Now, in order for this change to be made into the food stamps program, it needs to be passed in the upcoming farm bill. However, that is stuck in limbo because Congress is still negotiating the 5-year farm bill, and it has consequences because that is what the food stamps program is in. That is what the WIC program and all the other nutrition programs are in. So according to U.S. Senator John Boozman, the farm bill is taking longer to approve than previous years because of inflation. In an interview with Arkansas PBS earlier last year, Representative Rick Crawford said inflation is making it difficult to pass the bill. So we're all waiting for the farm bill to be passed, and hopefully this Hot Food Act is included in there. And so I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Hot Food Act? Are you on food stamps? Do you know somebody that is on food stamps? Is this going to be helpful to you by being able to use your food stamps, your SNAP benefits, your EBT card to buy hot food at grocery stores? I want to hear from you in the comment section below. And then we have 7 changes to Social Security benefits that is affecting everyone that I want to talk to you about. So let's get right into it. The first one you already have been affected by is COLA. And I want to talk about this because I did share with you why COLA is so low, because it's being calculated with an index that doesn't really reflect the cost of living challenges of seniors 62 and above or people with disability. So the first change to Social Security and disability this year is COLA coming in at 3.2% compared to last year, which was 8.7%, and the previous year, which was 5.9%. So this is something that was very upsetting to a lot of people because for a lot of you, inflation has really eaten at your ability to, the purchasing power of your Social Security and disability benefits. And so with this increase, the average Social Security benefits goes up by $59, which is tiny. So how does 2023 benefits compare to 2024? Well, as you can see, Social Security benefits on average go up from $1,827 to $1,907. SSDI go up by $1,483 to $1,537. SSI, Supplemental Security Income, the maximum benefit goes up from $914 to $943. And as a couple, it goes up from $1,371 to $1,415. Now, a lot of seniors are struggling because of this. Since the mid-2020, the average price of goods and services in the U.S. have gone up by 20% if you add all the inflation since 2020. Yet, the Social Security cost of living adjustment has only gone up by 17.8% at the same period. So there's even a gap in just looking at inflation and looking at COLA. There's a 2.5 gap there. So seniors are especially vulnerable to the rising cost of housing, with the average older person spending a whopping 49% of their household budget on shelter alone, which is why a lot of seniors are struggling and living in poverty. So as I shared with you, the president's plan to change how COLA is calculated is going to help with this problem. The second change is the Social Security tax, the income that is subject to Social Security. So as I said, Social Security is funded with payroll taxes, and if you make up to a certain level, you have to pay the 12.4%. You individually pay 6.2%, your employer pays 6.2%. That's how we get to the 12.4%. In 2023, that amount was $160,200. In 2024, that goes up to $168,600. So if you make up to that amount, you are going to pay Social Security taxes on your earnings. The third benefit change is how much money you can get at your full retirement age. Why is this important? Well, if you retire at your full retirement age, if you claim Social Security early at 62, you get 70% of your money. If you claim it at your full retirement age, you get 100%. If you claim it at age 70, you get 124%. Well, each year, the maximum benefit you can ever get at full retirement is adjusted for inflation. 2023 was $2,627. In 2024, it's $3,822. How do you get the maximum benefit? You have to max out on Social Security taxes for 35 years. It means that whatever the Social Security earnings limit was, you have to have hit it every single year for 35 years. That is how you qualify for the maximum benefit. And then the fourth is for those on disability benefits, the amount that is considered substantial gainful employment or substantial gainful activity goes up. What does this mean? This is the amount of money that you make that the Social Security Administration sees as the threshold for whether they consider you disabled enough to work or not. So if you make more than that threshold, you could lose your benefits, because then it shows that you can really work and you don't need disability benefits. So it is a very important marker and is updated every year. If you're blind, it's $2,590 per month. If you for everybody else, it's $1,550 per month. If you make beyond that, you are going to run into problems. And if you're applying for Social Security and you make beyond that already, if you're applying for disability, that becomes a factor in them trying to figure out, okay, if you make more than this amount, then are you really disabled? I am just the messenger. I don't make the rules. I'm just sharing it with you. The fifth change this year is Medicare premiums. That always goes up. A lot of seniors complain that even if they get COLA, their Medicare premiums also goes up and it eats into that COLA. Well, next year or 2024, this year, your Medicare premium, the standard premium, is going to be $174.70, up by $9.80 from 2023. And there's a whole table that walks you through the Medicare premium by income based on your filing status. As you can see, the higher you make or the more money you make, the higher the premium that you are responsible for Medicare Part B. The sixth change is a critical one for those of you who are on Social Security benefit and are working and are below your full retirement age. This is an important number to keep in mind, because a lot of people think they can just collect Social Security and then work as much as they want so that they can get more money. Well, it doesn't work that way. If you earn more than $22,320 in 2024, for every $2 you go over that limit, you're going to lose $1. That is if you are collecting Social Security before your full retirement age, which for some people is 66 years and change, and for others is 67. Now, if you are at your full retirement age year, then you can make as much as $59,520 and only lose $1 for every $3 you go above that. So that is your full retirement year. Up until a month before, you can make $59,520 and not lose any benefit until you go over that. And after your full retirement, you can make as much money as you want and not lose any benefit. And then finally, one of the changes that is happening this year is how much earnings you need to have to get one Social Security credit. As you may know, you need 40 credits to earn Social Security to be eligible for Social Security, and you should have worked at a minimum of 10 years. You need both, 40 credits and 10 years. Well, each credit is equated to a certain amount of money. So for 2023, a quarter of credit, you have to have made $1,640, a quarter to get one credit. In 2024, that amount goes up to $1,730 to earn a quarter of credit. So that is very important to know if you are trying to qualify for Social Security and you don't know where you stand. So that is what I want to bring to your attention today. So the last thing I want to do is announce the winners of the 2 gift cards that we had put forward in the last 2 videos. I said I was going to announce the winner in this video. So here are the names. So the first person to get the $25 Walmart gift card is Patricia Pace 3860. That's the username. And then the second person to get the $15 Target gift card is Christina King 6530. So I am going to put their names in the comments so that they can claim their prize. So if you like what you heard, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button so that more people will see this video. Thank you for watching.